chevrons that go with that letter. So tonight we start with our freshmen. We'd like you to come up as we call your name, receive your certificate, and be acknowledged for your participation in this program. We truly would not be where we are without the infusion of freshman talent. Would you please welcome Chris Beatty. Zach Brislon. Carlos Delgado. Tony De La Cruz. Alexandra Guerrero. Abigail Haggerty. Jared Linares. Bonner Michaela. Tanner McChansey. Maria Morales. Nick Mosca. Christian Naylor. Devin Olson. Jonathan Pham. Jake Plummer. Amanda Roberts. Emma Turner. Edson Valseca. Victoria Wood. Kevin Cislowski. You two are seniors. Sit down. If we could have another collective round of applause for our freshmen. They are truly the future of the program. As sophomores, having completed 2 years in the program in the appropriate ensembles, are eligible to receive the coveted Phillip Park Band or Orchestra or Color Guard letter, currently being held up by Vanna. Parents, this almost obligates you to buy them a Letterman jacket, sorry. Your order and information to the side. Yeah. Okay, sophomores, as I call your name, please come up and get your letter with our thanks and appreciation for your service and for your contributions to the program. Grant Akers. Justin Calmese. Brandon Horvath. Jonathan Jakes, also known as JJ. Michelle Kubia. Review card. Joy Lockery. Samantha Maynard. Manny Morales. Mia Murillo. Michael Nora. And Joseph Nora. Just as a side note, I'm sure Joseph always goes first, being alphabetical, so I just switched it up for Michael there. Yeah. Simon P. John Simon P. And Connor Wooters. And a round of applause, please, for our sophomores. Many of them have amassed sufficient credits to become juniors next year. I would like to recognize a special sophomore. He immigrated here from the dark side. And we are very, very lucky to have had him and his talent here this year. He has added immeasurably to our program. As far as I know, home is called, and he will return to the land of the vanguards. And we will miss him. But I dare him to wear the Villa Park band letter on the helmet. Juniors receive a chevron, which goes on the sleeve of the letterman jacket, designating their third year.
I'm not related.
Jessica Adams as a junior. Brett Ash. Serene Bustamante. Frankie Kate. Lauren Chat Chavez. Alyssa Columbus. Eddie Corbett. Sarah Donaldson. Grant Box. Luis Gracia. Ben Hurst. Kevin Johnson. Ryan Kasuda. We only need to give one name here. You know who it is. Jill. Jacob Kavanaugh. Jimmy. Hard to believe. Kevin Lee. Leslie Mendez. The other Omar Montoya. Hayden Montine. Alex Paris. Garrett Plummer. John Ramos. Annabelle Rock. Rebecca Sewell. Chad Stutzel. Ashley Ward. That takes care of the 2013-2014 instrumental music program at Villa Park High School, with the exception of our incoming freshmen, who will be led by these students that are returning, mentored by them, helped by them, tortured by them. But certainly, as the program continues to grow and move forward, it is on their shoulders that will happen. And the success of the program over the last 6 or 7 years means that's a heavy burden for them to bear. And it's a success because of the hard work and the talent of all the students that have come before them. And so we challenge them to raise that bar even higher than where it has been placed by all of the people that have been in this program up to this date, including the seniors, our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. Seniors. And you have been a unique class. And the changes in every single one of you, from those young freshmen 4 years ago to who you are today, in some cases, it's almost unbelievable in what you have become. The talent that you have displayed has been phenomenal. These trophies across the front of the room are all from this year. 4 sweepstakes and parades, undefeated, fantastic concerts, fantastic guard, fantastic drum majors, fantastic twirlers. And the seniors have certainly been tremendously responsible for making that happen. When we start out early in August and don't finish until way late in the year with football at the Big A in front of a huge crowd with a performance that was phenomenal, and I would tell you to go to the website and watch it again and again and again, because those are your kids down there doing that great job. Seniors, thanks to you. Our theme this year has been the music of America. And for our seniors, as you come up and receive your chevron and maybe a little bit of individual recognition, we'd also like you to take one of our American cowboy boots, because we have them left over, as a memento of the music of America and all that we accomplished this year. Our first senior is Nick Bush. Nick, fondly known as the Shrub, has not only played music and made music with us, but he has done everything that you could possibly do with a power tool, and some things you shouldn't. And everything that we have in terms of our technical capabilities in the pack, lighting, sound, curtains opening, curtains closing, screens going up and down when it shouldn't, all of those things, Nick is there, and it's almost every day, at some point in the day I go, Nick! And there's something that has to be solved. He's become very adept at going the other way as a senior, but nevertheless we could not have done anything that we've done without his tremendous support in that regard. And so to encourage him as he goes forward to study theater tech, with an eye towards doing that as a career. We have got for him his very own tool belt. All of the sharp implements have been removed.
Hey, there's still some screwdrivers in here.
Your screwdriver enough.
Okay, so, this next awardee, listen carefully to the name. Would Stephanie Schrademan please come up? Stephanie Schrademan. Yeah. The slow one just got it. Okay. These two have to be recognized together. And I've never seen, okay. Two people with a stronger bond that were just tremendous assets to each other going through high school. Both of them academically challenged. No, it is, it's a wonderful thing to watch this type of a relationship be there and to be modeled for the other students, to see this kind of support amongst peers. And it's a special blessing on the two of them that they have each other. And just so that they will not ever have to be separated, we have a set of handcuffs for them. No, you hooky, never mind. We call them the Keeblers. And that has nothing to do with stature, but everything to do with cookies. So, here's some cookies for them. Cassidy is an excellent baker and frequently treats me with fresh baked cookies. And so we have for her the true makings of a Keebler elf, her very own elf hat and elf ears. Stephanie, on the other hand, hasn't rubbed me anything. Coffee does not count. Okay, so to help her, we got her own baking kit. And Cassidy will give her lessons. Ladies, it's been a real pleasure, and we thank you. The Keeblers. Matt Cruz. Sometimes you get a piece of music and it calls for an instrument that no one is currently playing, like the oboe. Matt, there's the oboe. Like the soprano sax. Matt, there's the soprano sax. Like the B-flat octave flugelhorn. Matt. He just picks up a piece of PVC pipe and the next thing you know, we're getting notes out of it. A truly, truly very talented individual. Early on, because I'm so terrible with names, I have to give people nicknames, you know, Keeblers, that kind of too tall and that kind of stuff, which was not for him. So we just called him the Cruiser, because I could remember that. And so in order to recognize and remember that, we have him his own cruiser, remote control, and he can use to drive around the neighborhood. Man, thank you for everything, musically and leadership and everything that you brought to the program. Jake Davis. Jake has really come out of his shell this year, unfortunately. But he has identified a career for himself, which is always good, and I'm sure his parents will be very proud when he starts out as a dealer and ascends to pit captain in Las Vegas, because he's very, very good with those cards. So we have his very own set of oversized cards, because he cheats.
14. I got this.
J.B. Tella. Well, just so no one's confused, he actually does have a name, Jed Bryan. Okay. And he had a difficult career choice to make. He's very proud of his heritage. So at first he thought he was going to be a steward in the Navy. And I helped him understand what being in the Navy was really. So he decided to do the next career jump for people of Filipino heritage. He's going to be a nurse. We're very pleased with him, and getting started, he has his very own Dr. Kid. Do not let him practice on you. Just like Nick Bush, the sharp objects have been taken. John Twan. John has been a stalwart member of the program, and he's very, 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 very inventive. In fact, he invented a new instrument. It's called the chest violin. Never made it above here. So to help him as he moves forward, we brought him a little neck brace. That's where the violin goes, John. Oh, too late now. Ah, boy. Nick Henson. Nick currently owns every color of pastel shirt ever made. Nick has decided that he is done with us. He sold us his tuba. And so that he doesn't forget us, we want to give him a little tuba. Nick has just been a tremendous musical asset. He was a great drum major. I was proud to have him out there leading us down the street and on the field, and we wish him the best of luck in the future. I'm glad I came over to your house. Hannah Lancaster. Hannah has been about 50% of the woodwind section in the orchestra all these years, and a tremendous asset, a great sight reader, a lot of good stuff happening in the orchestra because she's there every day, and we can hear those parts and we can make the music happen. And I just want her to know that she has kind of shined a light on the path for the orchestra to follow, and in honor of that, we're going to give her own clarinet land. It really, really works. Grace Lee. Grace is another member that received that very special recruiting call. And I remember parking at the curb trying to find the number on her house, which she had cleverly removed in anticipation of my arrival. So I'm sitting down there with 2 or 3 of the students at the time in uniform. We're trying to find the number, we can't, so we went and knocked on the wrong door. And 2 doors later, we finally figured out the only remaining door had to be Grace. And we went up and we got her in the program, and we're exceptionally glad that we did. She's a great clarinet player, but a very quiet person. So, in order that she can be heard, because I'm sure she has something to say, we got her own microphone. It also plays hip hop and disco.
All right.
Thank you. James McGuine. I like James because, much like me, he has an affection for a very small room. And he appreciates everything that the Disney organization has to offer, as do I. And so we want him to go forward fully equipped to meet the challenges of life with those important keys and hints and clues that will provide you the answer. When you're in college and you're stuck, you simply go to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and go, "Hey, Toodles!" And the answers will come. So your very own Mickey Mouse Play-Doh modeling set. And the Play-Doh to go with it. It's not edible, James. I don't know what to call this guy. He's been called many, many things. We had an exchange student that called him Jerry Pooper. And I kind of liked it, so I started calling him Jerry Pooper. I actually put that on one of the applications for Disney. They went, no, he cannot come. But about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I said, "Hey, you ought to try singing." And he went, I don't sing. And he was right. No. I did a little arm twisting, and the result is a accomplished, phenomenal vocal talent that we have been privileged to have sing with us, Jared Piper. Now, when his singing started, he ended up developing a very signature song. Which one is that? Mac the Knife. So we got him his own Mac. Okay? And it also blows bubbles.
I got a bubble sword.
I bet you thought I skipped somebody, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to be very careful when we ask him to come up because he has a medical condition. He suffers from a little oxygen deprivation. And that's because he is so tall that up where he lives is very, very thin. So we've done a couple of things to help him get through life. Mountain Dew, filled with air from the grinder. And then we have the appropriate tubing in the candy lift so that when he starts to feel lightheaded, all he has to do is slap this on, and he'll get that little Spartan pick-me-up. John Mitchell, of course. He has played every instrument that we have asked him to play. We need a tuba. Okay. But I need a trumpet. Okay. But okay. He is the brass equivalent of Matt Cruz. Just about 3 times taller. It's been a pleasure having him in the program. We're going to miss him, and we're going to miss everything that you brought to it, particularly all the camera adjustments that had to happen. Get his head in the picture. He's over 10 feet with the plume. Josh Wagner. He plays around, he plays cards, and he also makes one pretty good looking chick. So when we asked him and the not good looking chick, it's challenge for some people.
We make a